Check, check. And good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Laughlin Center here at Lincoln Christian University for today's volleyball matchup between the Trinity International University Lady Trojans and your LCU Lady Red Lions. And at this time, I'd like to ask everyone to please rise, remove your hats, and please face the flag for the saying of prayer followed by our national anthem. Please pray with me. God, we'd like to thank you for just a beautiful day on your earth. God, thank you for the sunshine and just all the warmth and blessings that it brings with springtime. God, thank you for allowing our friends from Trinity International to travel here safely. I pray that you can keep everyone safe on the court tonight and for the coming games to come. We love you and pray all these things in the holy and mighty name of Jesus. Amen. Now let's meet the starters first for the visiting Lady Trojans of Trinity International University. At 5'5", junior number 5, Madeline Trippett. A 5'5", freshman number 9, Madison Fagans. A 6'1", senior number 10, Deborah Kovalchuk. A 6'2", junior number 12, Maddie Hopkins. A 5'7", junior number 15, Brianna Torres. A 6' junior number 16, Grace Mauersberger. And libero tonight for the Lady Trojans, a 5'3", junior number 3, Jalen Freeman. Trinity International is coached by Luke Ward. And now, the starting lineup for your LCU Red Lions. At 5'9", freshman from Urbana, Illinois, number 1, Tracy Bologna. A 5'10" freshman from Groveland, Illinois, number 6, Phoebe Olden. A 5'9" freshman from Kankakee, Indiana, number 10, Lee Claggett. A 5'9" junior from Fulton, Illinois, number 15, Jordan Price. A 5'7" senior from Atlanta, Illinois, number 18, Sam Hazard. A 5'5" freshman from Bloomington, Illinois, number 29, Alicia Smith. And libero tonight for the Lady Red Lions, of 5'1", the junior from Albion, Illinois, number 3, Karis Horton. Red Lions are coached by Joey McCauley. All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the opening tip-off of the volleyball season here in the spring. So we got volleyball season part 2 here at LCU as the Lady Trojans of Trinity International University come into town to face your Lincoln Christian University Red Lions. And here live at the Laughlin Center, I'm Jared Glassford. So glad that you guys could join us here for part 2 of the season. For those of you not knowing, the NAI decided to go with a split season with a lot of sports, including volleyball. You'll also see that with men's and women's soccer later on in the spring here at Lincoln. So actually only about a couple game home stretch as LCU, the Lady Red Lions, will play tonight. They got 2 games, first here at 4 o'clock, and then they play again at 8 in a bit of a try matchup we got going on here. And then they play tomorrow, then Saturday, and that's it for the home stretch. The rest of the game's on the road for the Lady Red Lions. Here we go, the opening tip-off. Bologna sends it, and that will be returned. Here come the Lady Trojans. The hit attempt hit up by Horton, and Horton hits it out of bounds, and the point goes to the Lady Trojans. And automatically we got our first substitution coming in. We got Michaela Fultz, the 5'3" freshman from Mattoon, Illinois. LCU wearing the home reds, black lettering, minus Karis Horton wearing the libero black uniform, red trim. Trinity International in the away black uniforms, blue trim and blue lettering. In libero, Jalen Freeman wearing the gray alternate. And we're on the attack now. Hazard gets it over, and that is hit in the wrong direction, and the point goes to the Red Lions. They strike the scoreboard to tie it up at 1 apiece. As Franny Null checks in, freshman standing at 5'2" from Hebron, Indiana, by way of Lowell High School. Franny Null, a lethal serviceman, and right there, just unable to contain it, is Trippett, and it goes right to her feet, and LCU has the lead, make it 2-1. I was saying Franny Null, a lethal serviceman in the fall portion of the season. See if she can continue that. Ranked real highly in the country when it comes to aces. So we'll see how that continues. And not enough loft on that one by Maddie Hawkins. And it's now 3-1 in favor of the ladies in red. Here we go. Service up by Null. Hit to the back row, and that's out of bounds, says a line judge back there, Mr. Esteban. So that'll be the point, and the possession will fall in the favor of the Trojans. As Jasmine Conador checks in, the 5'8" freshman from El Paso, Texas. Seeing a couple just getting back into the swing of things. Got a substitution there, but they're going to take care of that. Number 13, Emily Galakalos checks in, the sophomore from Burnham, Illinois. So Galagos goes up. Her serve, flat-footed serve, but is a bullet hit to the heart of the Red Line defense. Here we go. Price, electric hit, going to be returned and dug up. Here we go. Hazard kicks it up to Price. Price up in the air. Fultz pushes it back over. Possession now to the Trojans. Hit up to the middle. Good swing pass right there by Hawkins. Red Lions able to recover. Hazard, front row hits. And we got probably the longest volley here of the set so far. Claggett, a little misdirection, and she slams it down to give the Red Lions the point. And that'll bring to the service Karis Horton, junior libero out of Albion, Illinois. via Brescia University. Her serve goes up, and that's going to be returned. Left to right, hit right there, ends up in Horton. Horton to Cleggett. Cleggett goes over to Olden. Olden gets it over. Excellent digging up right there by Freeman, and it's going to be returned. Oh my gosh. Torres tries to hit Cleggett by surprise, but it goes right back over the net. And nobody wearing a black uniform wanted a piece of that one. It falls to the deck. LCU scores. So it's now 5 serving 2. Horton, line drive serve. As Olden hits it up to Cleggett, a middle hit to Price. Price tries to loft it up. Got a free ball up at the net. A lot of work darn close to the net so far. No, to Cleggett. Cleggett the middle to Price. Price takes a swing. An excellent run through by Freeman to save that one, but her effort is in vain as that goes out of bounds. It's now a 6-2 matchup, or 6-2 ball game in favor of the Red Lions. Here we go. Horton on the serve. Line drive, not a lot of ball movement right there. There's no rotation that one. And that is just a good spot right there by Maddie Hawkins to slam that one in the ground to give the possession, the side out back in favor of the Trojans. So that'll bring to serve Brianna Torres, the junior from Chula Vista, California, by way of Olympian High School. And International is the name of the game here for Trinity. If you look at it, as Olden throws it right in the net, the point goes in favor of Trinity. A very diverse as far as location team. Got Alabama, California, Oregon, Texas, Nevada already. And that's just the top. Then we got a Brazil. And we got just a couple from Illinois, which is where the college is located here on the north side of Chicago. And LCU, kind of a local team. All Illinois minus Lee Cleggett, the lone Hoosier of the mix. And you know what? I'll take that. Indiana's a great place. I may be a little biased at saying that, but oh well. As Price goes up, access denied by the Trojans, still in LCU territory as Olden throws it back into the net to give the point back in favor of Trinity. We got Torres on the serve. Line drive, and you got to go over the net, can't go through it, and the point goes back to LCU. As Bologna checks back in for Fultz. That'll bring to service Jordan Price, the junior from Fulton, Illinois, by way of Webster University. A couple of these Lady Red Lions tonight, multi-sport athletes. We saw Jordan Price being one of them, playing on the basketball team as well as the volleyball team. The last home basketball game here on the Red Lion Network. Price with a crucial and one to give LCU the tie down when they were down 3 in an overtime victory. And that was an exciting basketball game. We got a couple more. Avery Seidel, also a basketball player. A lot of multi-sport athletes here on the campus of LCU, and which is always a great sight to see for a small college. As Olden finds a great spot, and the point in the side goes back in favor of LCU. As Alicia Smith checks in. That'll bring Lee Cleggett to serve. Freshman from Kankakee, Indiana. Cleggett serve. Not a lot of zip on that one, but it does the trick. Cleggett hits out of the middle. Left side, Olden. Olden swings back through and finds the spot in the defense. And the side out stays in favor of the Red Lions. Served by Cleggett, 9-6. Freeman. Got to be a back row hit in favor of Gallegos. Gallegos gets it up. Cleggett, left side, Holden, she swings, and that finds that finds pay dirt as the point going to go back in favor of LCU, make it now 10-6. So Cleggett on the serve. Another serve that does the trick, gets it back over the net. Price, and that is too much off the fingertips of Jordan Price, goes out of bounds. And the service goes back to the Trojans as Grace Mauersberger checks back in. Set to serve now, number 9, Madison Fagans from Parker, Colorado. Her serve dug up to Cleggett. Cleggett not able to contain that one, and that one goes off to the side to make it 10-8 in favor of LCU. Olden up to Cleggett. Cleggett right side to Olden. Olden a bullet, but that goes out of bounds long. It's now a 1-point ball game. Make it now 10-9. So Fagans on the serve. Hit up by Olden. Olden back to Cleggett. Back row hit by Jordan Price. And here come the Trojans now. Good hit up right there by Mauersberger. Goes back in control of the Red Lions. Fagans up to Mauersberger. Back to Fagans. Back to Mauersberger. That goes. And they're saying that was out of bounds. And the point goes back to LCU. Here we go. The serve up by Phoebe Olden. Olden. It's up top to Fagans. Fagans punches it through. LCU now with the possession. Hazard swings. Up to Fagans. Fagans finds Freeman. Freeman, the back row hit that time. And that not able to be detained by Phoebe Olden. It's now a 10-9 game. Or excuse me, 11-10 game. I'll bring a serve, Madeline Trippett. 10th serve and 11. Cleggett pops it up to Hazard. Hazard takes a swing. It's going to be dug up in return. Mauersberger hits it off the fingertips of Melania and Hazard. And it hits the deck, and we have ourselves a tie ball game at 11 apiece. The serve by Trippett. Cleggett will pass it over to Hazard. Good hit through, and they're going to say, yep, they're going to say she was in the net. So that point falls in favor of the Trojans, and they have their first lead since 1-0. So Trippett. Dug up by Price. Price to Cleggett. Cleggett left side to Hazard. Hazard takes a swing up and just barely in the reach, but she's able to hit it back up, and we have ourselves a volley here. And they're going to say, yep, they're going to say there's 4 hits right there. So it's now 13, serving 11. Cleggett pops it up for Hazard. Hazard goes left to right with that one. In the middle is Fagans. Fagans goes back to Mauersberger. LCU scrambling right now every time the ball's hit on their side of the nets. It is the first game back. Little first game jitters never hurt. Let's see, the LCU able to clean up their mistakes here in this first set. Cleggett, left side Hazard. Hazard hits it up. Freeman, right side to Torres. Torres met at the net, and that possession is going to be in favor of LCU. So after a 4-0 run, LCU able to score and get back possession. That'll bring up Tracy Melania to serve. Melania serve, a line drive, but just barely misses the out-of-bounds line on the left side. to make it now a 15-12 game. So it'll be Deborah Kovalchuk on the serve. The Brazilian on this Trojan offense. Here we go. An excellent spot right there by Maddie Hawkins to hit the ball where they ain't and to score for Trinity International. Here we go now. Kovalchuk set to serve, 16, serving 12. Price, Cleggett, Smith swings through. That's hit up in the air. Torres takes a swing, and way too much power on that one. That sails out of bounds. In possession goes back to LCU. As that'll bring in Franny Null to serve. Serve up by Null. A line drive bullet straight to the back row by Freeman. Freeman kicks it up to Torres. And too many red jerseys going after that ball, and the ball hits the deck on their territory to make it a 17-13 matchup in favor of the Trojans. And the serve up right there, not gonna make the net. So lead down to 3. And that will bring up Karis Horton to serve. Serve up by Horton. Lofts it up into the hands. 3-3, libero to libero right there. And nobody gets the ball at the net. And it's now 18-14. As Jasmine Coronado checks in. Set to serve now, Brianna Torres. Torres hits it up. Fultz has it. Over to Olden. Olden lofts it up into the back row right there. It's hit right there by Hawkins. And they're going to say that went out of bounds. Point goes to LCU. So Fultz out, Bologna in. That will mean Jordan Price set to serve. The serve up by Price. A line drive hit to the back row. An excellent miscommunication right there by Fagans. And Madison Fagans scores for her team to make it 19-15. Serve up by Jalen Freeman. Cleggett to Olden. Olden swings through, took up out of the ground by Freeman. Freeman to Hawkins. Hawkins goes on the right side there to Canado. And Canado throws it to the ground to make it 20-15. So not only is it a 5-point lead for the Trojans, but they're 5 points away from taking set number 1. Serve up by Freeman. Here we go, Cleggett. Left side Olden. Olden not going to bait it back over the net. And it's now 21-15 in favor of the Trojans. And Coach McCauley going to call a timeout, which means we'll take a timeout ourselves. We'll back here for more in just a moment on the Red Line Network. Welcome back after the timeout. It is a 21-15 ball game in favor of Trinity International University right now. And they got the side out. Freeman set to serve. Cleggett back to Price. Here come the Trojans now. It's good push through that time by Hawkins. Cleggett, or excuse me, that time it was Olden. We're all different kinds of discombobulated right now. It's the first game back as Bologna takes a swing. Hawkins hit up that time, and good spot right there by Coronado as that goes out of bounds. It is now 22-15 in favor of the Trojans. If you're LCU, got to make this one a little close as the Trojans just 3 points away from victory. And more importantly, for taking one set, unfamiliar with the NAIA rules, we play 5 sets. Our first one to 25 wins the set, must win by 2. First one to win 3 out of 5 sets wins the match. I know it's confusing, but trust me, I'm just as confused as you are. Now 23-15. As the junior from Athens, Alaska, set to serve. Freeman, line drive, goes right to left with that one. Cleggett over to Olden. Olden takes a swing through, and that goes out of bounds. And it is now set point here for the Trojans. Set brought by Freeman. Into Cleggett. Cleggett back to Bologna. Excellent hit there by Bologna as it ends up in the hand of Hersenberger. Hersenberger goes through, and they're going to say that's out of bounds. So LCU finally, after a very long drought, ends up back on the scoreboard to make it to 24-16. So Lee Cleggett set to serve now. Cleggett. Here we go. Fagans hits it back over the top. That time was Hawkins. Smith swings through. And Fagans not able to contain that one. That hits pay dirt. Give the point to LCU. Serve up by Cleggett. Fagans pushed through by Coronado. LCU now with possession as Olden able to return it. Back up to Fagans. Fago goes left side, back again to Coronado, and cannot do that. Point goes back to LCU to make it 24-18 now. So it's going to be tough right now for the Red Lions, but got to score 7 unanswered points, and really 8 unanswered points in order to get this one, as nobody went after that serve. Lee Cleggett a great spot, make it 24-19. So serve up by Cleggett, going to be dug up in return. Melania and nobody there for LCU, and that will conclude set number 1 here. As the score ends up being Trinity International 25, Lincoln Christian University 19. We'll be back here in just a second here for set number 2 here on the Red Lion Network. All right, welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to set number 2 here on the match between LCU and Trinity International. If you're just tuning in, Trinity International, with a furious comeback, was able to take the first set by a score of 25-19. So they take one set, got to win 2 more to win the match. If you're wondering, traditional volleyball, the teams would normally switch sides right there, but an NAIA rule at the beginning of the season dictated that what side you start on is the side you ultimately finish on and remain there for the entirety of the match. So we stay on the side and we play on. And this is by far the longest volley, and right on cue, the announcer's jinx. And Trinity International strikes first. Just about to say that was by far the longest volley that we've had all evening, but it looks like I spoke too soon. Here we go, Claggett, hit up for LCU, left side to Hazard. Hazard goes up, tries to block by that time by the Trojan defense, but it goes out of bounds. LCU strikes, Alicia Smith checks out, Franny Null checks in. Here we go, Franny Null on the serve. Line drive and not high enough as that goes straight into the net. It's now 2-1 ball game in favor of the Trojans. So that'll bring Madeline Trippett back in. So Trippett on the serve. Hikes up in the air. Claggett, good push through right there. A little misdirection. And they're going to call the double hit by Claggett. So the Trojans score right there and make it 3-1. So that'll put Trippett back in control. Here we go, an excellent swing through right there by Deborah Kovacic. And it's now 4-1. So far, Trinity International with all the momentum feeding off of that first set, and it's bleeding into the second one here. As count that, another ace right there from Madeline Trippett. And the junior from Albany, Oregon, by way of Southwest Oregon Community College, is firmly in control of this one. Here we go, Trippett the serve. High arcing rainbow serve, hit to Franny Null in the back row of the LCU. Price, met by a block party of Trojan defenders, slams it right back in her face. And that hits the deck, make it 6-1 now. So Trippett, another high arcing serve, hit back in the air. We got a free ball at the net. Controlled by the Trojans. Swing through. Fultz up to Claggett. Claggett, the back row, hit by Null. Null, excellent hit to get it back out of there. Trippett goes left side right there to Torres. And Torres, too much smoke on that one. Hits off the hands of Michaela Fultz and goes out of bounds. So it's now 7-1. Here we go, Claggett, right side to Hazard. Hazard met by a couple of blockers for the Trojan side of things, and after a few missed hits at the net, the point finally is awarded to the ladies in black. It is now an 8-1 matchup, or excuse me, 8-1 ball game in favor of Trinity International. So Trippett up to Null. Null hits it to Horton. That will be returned. An excellent hit up there by Kovacic. Swings across her body and scores. And it's now 9-1. Here we go, the hit up in the air. Controlled by that time Little give and go, and that hits pay dirt for LCU. So for Price to Cleggett, back to Price, and she slams it down. They make it now 9-2. LCU controls the side out, and set to serve is the libero from Albion, Illinois. That's Karis Horton. Serve up by Horton. Line drive, back row, libero to libero on the serve. Kolbachek hits it, just swings it right back over. Price lofts it up. Excellent scrap there by Trippett. LCU is celebrating, still got some volleyball to be played. And finally, a little miscommunication. Esteban points his flag at the ground and said that ball did indeed bounce off of the floor. So it's now 9-3. So we go now. Kolbachek hits it over. Here we go. Olden swings. Dug up that time. Fagans back to Marsberger. Cleggett, middle to Price. Price hits it up and escapes the blocks right there to score for LCU. Lead cut down to 5. So there's now 4 serving 9. As Torres throws it down to make it now 10-4. So they score, which means they have possession off the side out. So we had a serving change as Deborah Kolbachek, a senior from Brazil, goes up to serve. A flat-footed serve. Has some good distance and speed on that one as Olden throws it back in the field of play. Fultz goes behind her head to get back in. Excellent defense and turned into offense right that time for LCU. Cleggett goes up. Olden goes across her body. Trippett. A little give and go. Torres now. Good volley going right here in the Laughlin Center as Price has access denied and Horton got to it just a little too late. And the point goes to the Trojans. So Kolbachek now. It's Cleggett. Right side to Price. Price swings across her body, but the ball hit up in the air, and Torres can't get a hold of it. So the point goes to the Red Lions. As Tracy Bologna will check in, which means Jordan Price set to serve. Junior from Fulton, Illinois. A bullet line drive serve dug up onto the ground. The Trojans will be able to control it, and too much right that time for Karis Horton. And the point goes to the Trojans. Here we go, Cleggett. And good hustle by the Red Lions right there, but they're unable to go over the net. Instead, they went under. So the point falls in favor of the Trojans. It is now 13-5. As LCU scores, Alicia Smith goes back in, which means Lee Cleggett set to serve. Cleggett, as that serve way out of bounds, the point and the possession goes back in favor of the Trojans. Serve up by Torres, 14 serving 6. Cleggett hits in the air, back row hit to Price. Price gets it up and Freeman able to swarm out of nowhere to get it. The hit up right there by for Coronado. And Coronado finds the empty spot, but The point actually going to go in favor of LCU. And that'll bring up Phoebe Olden, set to serve. Fagans hit up right there, and excellent hit through that time by Maddie Hopkins. Price dug it up, but dug it up to nobody. And the point is in favor of TIU. So we got Jalen Freeman now set to serve. As Horton hits it over, Freeman in the middle of Fagans. Fagans lofts it up right there in Kovalchuk. Kovalchuk hits it over. There's Coronado, excellent hit up, and they're going to say that was off the ground. So the point goes to Trinity International. It's now 16-7. So too strong on that serve. LCU scores to make it a 10-point game, or excuse me, a 9-point game now, 16-7. Excuse me, 16-8 now. So immediately that serve goes in the net by Bologna, so the lead pushed back up to 9. So Cleggett goes left side to Hazard. Hazard swings through and scores for the Red Lions. So lead 8 now as Hazard hits it over. The International moving around. A hit back over that time by Coronado, and Coronado strikes on LCU territory. It is now 18-9. So Trinity International has doubled the score of LCU at this point. LCU got to do something right here. Otherwise, this one here in set number 2, down 0-2, might well be very difficult to come back from. As Price hits it back over. Right in the middle, right there to Kovalchuk. Kovalchuk back to Cleggett. Cleggett finds the deck. It's now 18-10. So we go now for LCU. Left side there to Torres. Torres hits it over, and Horton not going to be able to contain that one. It is now 19-10. Here we go, Deborah Kovalchuk. Brazilian serves it over. Cleggett up in the air to Price. Price finds the floor. And LCU now with an 8, just trailing by 8. As Fultz checks out and Bologna will check in, which means Jordan Price will set to serve. The 11 serving 19. So that is a rocket off the hands of Jordan Price. Is that time Mariana Torres finds the better of that ball. It finds the floor. Make it now 20-11. Emma Gallegos checks in for the first time here in set number 2. Cleggett, right side to Bologna. Bologna kicks it back over. In the middle, that's Hawkins. Both teams doing a pretty good job, as excellent spot right there by Phoebe Olden. And she gets her first kill here in the second semester to make it 20-12. It's a ferocious hit right there by Brianna Torres. It's now 21-12. Here we go. Serve up by Torres. 21, serving 12. Horton pops it up. Good spot right there for Hawkins, and Hawkins just out of the reach of Lee Cleggett. As it is now a 22-12 advantage. Here we go now, Cleggett. Up to Jordan Price. Price goes left side to Olden. Olden hits it through. And the point going to be awarded to the Lady Red Lions. So Phoebe Olden on the serve. Both teams doing a pretty decent job at returning. Not a ton of aces tonight, as that ball hits the floor to make it 22-15. Scratch that, make it 22-14. Olden on the serve. Up to Freeman. Freeman finds the middle. Hawkins, and Hawkins just barely gets it in to score for her team. Make it 22-14 now. Here we go now, Jalen Freeman set to serve the things away for Trinity International. Her serve, a line drive bullet, as Cleggett going to have to dig that up over to Hazard, and Hazard scores for LCU. Good volley going on both sides right now. Cleggett in the middle of Price. Price has a hit right back to her. And it is now set point for the Trojans. As Michaela Fultz checks in, Tracy Bologna checks out. And that'll be set to serve, number 3, or excuse me. Fagans. Hit over to Coronado. Back to Fagans. Back row hit to, Torres. And they're going to say 4 hits right there by the Lady Trojans, so LCU will score. So Franny Null just barely gets it over the top of the net here. Fagans lofts one up. Cleggett over to Olden. Olden ferociously hits the ground to make it 24-17 now. We got Franny Null set to serve. Null to serve up in the air. Lofty one at that. Fagans up to Torres. Torres saves it for Trinity IU. Clay get a free ball up in the air. And that will conclude set number 2 by a score of 25-17. Be back here more in just a moment on the Red Line Network. All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome here to set number 3. If you're just joining us, Trinity International at the better of the Red Lions here in the previous 2 sets with a score of 25-19 and 25-17. They lead 2 sets to none. Got to win 3 out of 5 in order to take the match. So LCU in pure self-defense mode as Tracy Bologna throws that one into the nets to make it a 1-1 ball game. Coming up next after this one here on the Red Line Network, for the opposing fans, got a little bit of a treat for you as We're going to have commentary for the Trinity International versus the University of Health Science and Pharmacy of St. Louis coming to town. So we got the Uteptics versus the Trojans. That game will be approximately scheduled to go at 6 o'clock, but we'll see at the end of this one what they're planning to do with that. And then the nightcap, we have your Lady Red Lions facing the University of Health and Science, or Health Science and Pharmacy. That game will start approximately at 8 p.m. So he took a sec to get the sweat off the floor. It is a 3-2 ball game in favor of Trinity. So it'll be 2 serving 3. Franny Null on the service. Line drive serve going to be contained. And here we go now. LCU get the first possession. Bryce the give and go. Great spot right there, but they're going to say that goes out of bounds. Just barely misses the line right there. Right idea by Jordan Price. But the results were not there, and the point goes to Trinity. And that'll bring up to serve Deborah Kolvacek, the senior from Brazil. And the Brazilian serve, a line drive once again. Here we go now. Price goes up, and right there, the defender thought she was going short. She goes long instead, and Jordan Price with an excellent spot right there to score for LCU. And that'll bring up the libero Karis Horton, set to serve. The 3 serving 4. Serve up by Horton. Dug up out of the ground by Freeman. Freeman hits it back up in the air. The swing through by Torres. And Torres jets it just out of the reach of a couple defenders from LCU. And she's able to score for the Trojans. Checking into the game now for TIU. That's number 13, Emma Gallegos. So Gallegos, hard hit serve straight to the back row. Cleggett able to hold on to it. Cleggett up to Price, and she sends it over. Little give and go. Torres hits it in the spot. Cleggett hits it up in the air, and Fultz completes the play. Excellent scrappy play right there for your Red Lions. Torres on the push. And Cleggett not going to be able to hit it up in the air enough. As the lead now up to 3 for the Trojan, make it 6-3. Here we go, the serve up. Fultz, Cleggett, Price, back into LCU territory. Free ball at the net. Jordan Price hits it over, and here come the Trojans now. Torres up to Cleggett, up to Price. Price tries to swing it over, but the Trojans being very good at denying the Red Lions today. Here we go, Gallegos set to serve. Her serve, a bullet serve straight to the arms of Michaela Fultz. Left side to Olden. Olden hits it back up in the air. Fagan swing through, and that is the score by Maddie Hopkins. So Gallegos been at the helm for 4 straight points for Trinity. See if that can continue as Olden hits it back in the air, way out of bounds. And LCU breaks the scoring drought. They trail by 4, make it 8-4 now. As Fultz out, Bologna in, which means serving for the Lady Red Lions, number 15, Jordan Price. Serve up by Price. Fagans to Torres. Torres hits it up and just barely, as right there as Horton saved it off the deck, and it almost hits that back corner but just goes out of bounds to push the lead back up to 5, make it 9-4. Price, Cleggett, Bologna in the middle. Bologna shoves it over. A little back row hit right there by Torres. And here we go now. Olden swings up. That ball caught up the net for a second there, met by the block party for the Trojans. Cleggett goes up to Bologna. Bologna met by host, a block from TIU. Goes back in LCU territory. It is now 10-4 in favor of the Trojans. Horton hits it up and over. Fagans in the middle that time, and the hit goes sailing out of bounds for Maddie Hawkins. And the lead back to 5. So it'll be 5 serving 10 now. Here we go, Cleggett in the middle right there to Bologna. Bologna met at the net by a couple of Trojan defenders. It goes back in bounds. Yeah, the red line's not able to do much with it right there as the Trojans get the point to make it 11-5. Here we go, Jalen Freeman now. Cleggett, left side, Alicia Smith. Alicia Smith's hit goes out of bounds. And it's now 12-5. Coach McCauley Tiles time, which means we'll take one ourselves. Be back here in just a moment on the Red Line Network. Coming out of the timeout, give a quick shout out. Esteban comes up, wants to know, Mom and Dad, Esteban's parents, thank you for tuning in and watching here on the Red Line Network. We appreciate your audience here. We appreciate all the audience we get on here. It really sucks. We really wish that you guys could be in attendance with us because I love sports to death, been around them my entire life. As great block that time by LCU results in a score, make it now 12-6. Been around sports my entire life, but there is nothing quite like a packed gymnasium for any sporting event. So we miss you guys. Hoping to get you guys back into the game soon. But until then, thank you, everyone, for tuning in here on the Red Line Network. Got a lot of exciting sporting events coming up in the spring as we got this rare time where baseball, men's and women's soccer, and volleyball will all be playing in a season at the exact same time. So really busy here in the athletic department, but very exciting nonetheless as we got games almost every day of the week, it seems like. But once again, can't tell you how much we thank you for tuning in as it is now 13-7. If you'd like to follow along with tonight's action and all the action that goes on here at LCU, you can follow us on social media. Look it up. That's Red Lion Athletics is the name of the account, or you can follow us at LCU Athletics. Also, if you like, say, if you're a statistician, want to know what's going on stat-wise here tonight's contest, go ahead and get on DAC Stats, the official stat provider of the NAIA. Once again, that is DAKSTATS. That's DAC Stats. Once again, DAC Stats, DAKSTATS, the official stats provider of the NAIA. So lead cut down to 5 as it is, lead cut to 6, 14-8. As we got a little bit of a subbing error, but we get that taken care of. And Madeline Trippett set to serve now. Trippett's hit. Up in the air. Claggett has it in the middle. Left side over to Hazard. Hazard swings it up, dug up by Freeman. Freeman hits it up, and Torres goes away out of bounds. So the side-out possession falls in favor of the Red Lions. Smith checks out, which means Franny Knoll is set to serve. Freshman from Hebron, Indiana. Well, they have Lowell High School, so the former Red Devil becomes a Red Lion. As Mauersberger goes up, as Foltz able to hit it over, and here come the Trojans now. In the middle is Torres. Torres throws it down with authority. It is now 15-9. So Deborah Kovalchuk on the serve. Kovalchuk goes up top to Claggett. Claggett goes over to Hazard. Hazard hits it off the net. It is now 16-9. So Trinity moving ever so closely to that magical 25 number, and more importantly, the win of another set, which will conclude the match. And they will not play again until about 8 o'clock tonight. Or excuse me, they play right afterwards. LCU not playing until 8 o'clock tonight. My mistake. So you love to see side get some momentum as we got a hurt player. So we're going to take just a moment. We'll be back here in just a moment on the Red Lion Network. She's got an injured player on the Trinity International side as she's able to get up under her own power as she's sitting on the sidelines, attended to by our training staff. So hopefully she's all good and can keep going tonight. Got another match. She's got another set to go immediately following this one. So here we go now. Claggett hits it up. Give and go to Price. Price lobs it over. And Trinity International see if they can recruit after missing a player now. Claggett, left side to Hazard. Hazard met at the net, but the block goes out of bounds. And the point going to stay with LCU. Karis Horton on the serve, 10, serving 17. Horton pushes it home. Fagans lobs it up. Block party by LCU. Throws it back into TIU territory, but just an excellent spot right there by Maddie Hawkins. It is now 18-10. As checking back into the game, Emma Galagas. The 5'3" sophomore from Burnham, Illinois. And Galagas will go back immediately to serve. 18 serving 10. A bullet serve set right to in the hands of Franny Null. Clay getting able to throw it by, and that time Phoebe Olden on the hit attempt. But her kill is none successful, and the point goes to the Trojans. As that ball goes out of bounds, it is now 20-10. And Trinity just 5 points away from taking taking match number 1. Here we go now. Horton hits it up. Hit throw by Torres, and Torres hits it down with authority to make it 21-10. By the side of things, it looks like Deborah Kolvachuk is under her own power and standing on the sidelines after falling on that shoulder awkward. So great to see if you're a Trojan fan. Is Clay get a little shaken up after that one, but she's able to get up on her own power. Fagans in the middle that time to Hawkins. Hawkins off the hands of the LCU defenders. And Coach McCauley going to call time as it is 22-10 now. As we're going to take a break ourselves. You're watching LCU Volleyball here on the Red Line Network. Welcome back after the timeout. It is 22-10. LCU, if they're going to have a comeback here, got to be miraculous. Got to score 15 points in the time it takes Trinity to score 3 and make that 2 as if Phoebe Olden throws it off the net. So it is 23-10. So Gallagher set to serve. As Kalekit hits it in the air. Started up by Price. And after a series of hits, the early celebration pays off and LCU scores. Fultz out, Bologna in. Jordan Price set to serve. 11 serving 23. Price throws it up. Fagans in the middle of Hawkins. Hawkins met by the block party by LCU. They try to go back to it. Here we go. Olden left side. Left to right hit. Fagans up top. Over to Torres. Good ball movement on both sides right now. Horton throws it back over. Fagans up in the air. Torres set to hit. Melania in the middle. Free ball up in the air. Falls back in the favor of LCU as Nong goes back up. Excellent volley we got going right now in the Laughlin Center. Olden throws across her body. Torres on the hit. Lee Cleggett throws it up in the air, and the score goes to LCU. So after a long, scrappy battle right there, it is ultimately won by the ladies in red. It is now 12 serving 23. Fagans up top right there to Hawkins. Olden will take a swing. Torres hits it over. Jordan Price, the back row hit. It's up in the hands of Freeman. Freeman to Torres. Both teams, the volleys catching up right now. A lot of deep volleys here in the latter part of the set. It's great spot right there by Tracy Bologna in the middle of the net to score. And the lead down to 10, make it 13-23. So here we go, Jordan Price set to serve. The little give and go right there, and Torres ends up getting the score, and it is now match point for the Trojans. So we go now, Brianna Torres, the junior from California. What might be the last serve here in this one. Melania on the left side. Kicks it back up to Torres. Coronado takes a swing. Able to be returned as Olden throws it back over. As there, Cleggett tries to go over the head, but no good right there. Goes into the net, and that will conclude the match today. So Trinity International completes the sweep by set number 1, 25-19. 2 went to Trinity as well, 25-17, and they won set number 3, 25-13. So that'll conclude set number 1. If you give just a second, if you're a Trinity International fan, or if you're a fan of the Eutectics, as coming up here in just a little bit, we got the University of Health and Science and Pharmacy taking on Trinity International. And then at about 8 o'clock tonight, the Red Lion fans will be back as University of Health and Science and Pharmacy take on your Lady Red Lions of Lincoln Christian University. But that'll do it here for the first match of the night. About 40 minutes, we'll start match number 2. I'm Jerry Glassford. So long, folks. Thank you for tuning in to LCU Volleyball on the Red Line Network.